Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Project ATM Star. We are going to be working on quite a few things in today's episode. First thing I want to work on is getting a couple of things situated so that we could get some more of the allthemods star parts. We're also going to be looking into getting the patrickstar today as well. So let's go ahead and get this journey started. Also, another thing that I'm going to be working on is getting the hydroponic beds created so that we could have a quicker farm so that we could get some resources coming in a lot quicker, and that will give us a better progression rate. So let's go ahead and jump into what we need to do today. And I think what we need to do is work on the SPS, because we need to get the antimatter coming in as quickly as possible, because we need it for some of the crafts in the or for the star, I should say. So if we look here, what we're going to need is some parts here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bookmark everything so that we can get everything crafted, and we are going to build this wonderful machine. Hopefully I will be able to get this done. So let's go ahead and work on this quest line, because this will help us understand what we need to do so that we don't mess anything up. Okay, so this needs structure glass, 4 ports, and 60 casings, and then 2 supercharged coils. Okay, so let's go ahead and work on getting these parts, or at least the quest line, situated. Some of this stuff doesn't look too bad to get going, and I'm pretty sure we can make it pretty quick. So we'll need to do that one more time because it said we needed 2 lasers. And our machines are all fully upgraded, so it should be fairly quick. Okay, so there's one. Can we get the other one? Okay. And there's the other one. Perfect. Okay, so we got that. Now let me put some of these on autocraft, just so we don't have to do this all by hand. Let me go ahead and put this on autocraft. That's for any chest. I will be putting that in there as well. Then we got plenty of that stuff to make, hopefully. Ooh, the HDPE sheets. Is that needed? I don't think we have those coming in. We need to make the pellets, which we could do that in a pressurized tank with liquid ethylene and oxygen with substrate. I'll bookmark these. Okay, so substrate we can do like water and ethylene, or hydrogen. We got hydrogen. I believe we could do water up here as well with some biomass or what's the other one? Biofuel, which I think we could do that, and that will get us the ethylene as well as the substrate. Okay, so we need one of these. This might be a process. I was not expecting this, but unfortunately I should have been expecting it as well. Okay, so mechanism, enrichment chamber. I'm gonna go ahead and bookmark this so we have the craft ready. Pressurized reaction chamber, which we need to. We bookmark that, or should we just let it run? And what's the difference between liquid ethylene? Oh, I see. Okay, so condensating ethylene into liquid ethylene. So we could do that off of this one machine. So this is going to go over here. Nature essence. Okay, we got plenty of nature essence. Moss. Okay, we don't have moss on here, and I think moss will be probably the best choice for this. So let me make this a pattern so we could have this auto craft in. Okay. Let me go ahead and put this up. Okay, crafting, crafting, crafting. Perfect. Go ahead and put these in here. Okay. So let's take a look at, I accidentally hit the wrong one. So let's take a look at this. Let's see, does it give us recipes? It does. Okay. So we want to do this one. So it's going to be water and hydrogen with the biofuel is the one I want to use, which is a crusher. And if we look through here, we do have moss that gives us 2. Large fern gives us 3. Pumpkins give us 6. So I might actually use that instead. That looks like a better. Let's see what else they got. Ooh. Okay, so pumpkin pie is 7. I'm not worried about that. That'd be too much. I think the pumpkin is our best bet. So let me create the pumpkin as an autocraft here. Yeah, that's the one we want. So let me go ahead and do this. So that gives us a lot more. Let me just confirm that real quick. So 1 pumpkin equals 6 biofuel. Yep, that's going to be exactly the one that we're going to use. And what I am going to do as well is if I come over here, I know this is going to look ugly, but this needs to happen already because we don't have a way to send things back to the overworld. So I'm just going to plop this down right here for the time being, of course. Put that in there, and now this is linked back to the overworld. Now what this will allow us to do is we could grab a couple of these and slap it down right here. And I think I want to build this about right here. So I'll go ahead and slap this guy down, and now we have a connection that doesn't involve a lot of wiring. Okay, so let me go ahead and put the pumpkin in. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab one of these. I'm going to create one of these real quick. I wonder, reaction. I wonder if we should get the ultimate to speed this up. So I'm going to go ahead and just grab an ultimate. I'm going to place you down right here, you down right there. What this is going to do is it's going to shove pumpkin in here, and then I will bring the water and hydrogen using the entangler porters because we have these on tap already. So let me go ahead and clear everything here. And the good thing about this actually is this will allow us to use the induction card so we don't have to worry about any of the cables. And now that should be getting power once I do this. There we go. Okay. So water, hydrogen. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the back here as an input output. And then chemical is going to be input on this side. Water will be input on this side. So let's go ahead and get that going. Do I have water on here? Doesn't look like it. So better yet, what I can do is get an exporter and do water. Okay. Cable. I'll do blue. Blue for water. Okay. I need some acceleration cards real quick. That will speed this up. There we go. Okay. And then this side is going to be chemical output eject. And I'm going to set this to hydrogen. Perfect. So now we have hydrogen and water in here, which is exactly what we want. And then what else I'm going to do is I'm going to put this here and put this ethylene. This will allow me to hold on to the ethylene and put this somewhere else. I think ethylene a gas or a liquid? Doesn't tell me. But I think it's going to be a chemical just because we're turning it into liquid ethylene. So we're going to go input, and then over here we're going to do chemical output. Oh, can I put this in the system? I might not even need this entangler porter. I'll have to check as I'm running this. Okay. So now we come over here, we do substrate. We'll have to set up a crusher, which we could definitely do. Let me mark that real quick. Okay. And then so we want substrate, or we want biofuel. So we want this guy, this one right here. That should work. And since we're already feeding that this, we only need the biomass. Actually, not even the biomass. I want the biofuel. If I could spell correctly. There we go. So it should be a 1-to-1. So I'll go ahead and make that, and we could put that there. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to start the crusher here. That up. Put that over there. The crusher and then the tier upgrades. I don't want this to be slow by any means. So I need the elite, and I need the ultimate. Last one, perfect. Okay. And actually we could put this guy down right here. Make sure we clear all sides, energy, do input from the back so that we could get the power. And then what we can also do is have this as an input output with auto inject on. Let me get the tier installers here. And then we're also going to need the speed upgrade and energy. Just over there. Perfect. All right. Let's see. This also needs speed and energy. Speed. Perfect. Okay. So this should be pretty much set up. I just got to get one more pattern in here, and that's going to be turning pumpkin into biofuel. Let me go ahead and do that real quick. Crusher, pumpkin, that one. So one pumpkin is 6 biofuel. So I'll go ahead and put that guy in here. Okay. So just a quick test. Let's see if we can get some substrate. I'm going to say 20. It might be broken. And I think... Okay. So let me put this back in here. Get rid of that. Because I just want the biofuel to make the substrate. I don't want anything extra. It'll get automatically taken care of. So let's cancel this. And let's try it again. Okay, for some reason it's not working. I'm trying to see why. But for now, is that gonna work? Doesn't seem like it's working. That got us a lot of biofuel. So if we just slap that in here. So are we getting the ethylene in here? We are not. Am I not connected right? This should work. Because I did it in the, substrate. That too is not going back in. Then again, I don't have it configured. Okay, so it is connected to our system. That's working fine. So why is this not item, input, output? Don't care about that. Why are you not wanting to work? Input, input, output, input, energy. Maybe I need to switch these around. Let's try it again. Do I need to give the crushing factory its own pattern? I mean, that's fine and all, but I was hoping to kind of avoid that. We don't need the induction card. I could use that one. Where'd my wrench go? Hold on. Wrench. There you are. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do that. Do that. I gotta figure out why the ethylene won't go into the system. Is my drive full? Let's take a look. Do I even have a chemical drive? I have a fluid drive. I don't think I have a chemical drive. Let's make one real quick. 256K. Yeah, let's make this guy real quick. I didn't think about that. That should have been something I should have had taken care of for sure. Okay, so now we have the ethylene going in there. So now, let's go back. Ooh, that's a good idea. Okay. That's not trunk loaded. Okay. It is now. Okay. So, let's see if this will now work. Why is the pumpkin 6 biofuel with 1 pumpkin? Why is this not working? Okay, let me go ahead and troubleshoot this real quick and I will bring you guys right back. Okay. And now I'm back. That was actually a really super simple fix and I should have noticed it quite literally 2 minutes after I said I will bring you guys back. I fixed it. So the issue was I was just being dumb. I forgot to make this new pattern provider input output, it was still looking at the one in the back, that one, instead of this one. So now that this is working, if we look here, let's go ahead and do, say, 100. If we look in here, it is now getting the biofuel and it's making the substrate and the ethylene. So we are good there. Perfect. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to branch off in another direction and I'm going to make the ethylene into liquid ethylene. And that just requires the rotary condensator. And I don't think there is a tier for this. I think it's just the one. Condensator. Yeah, it looks like it's just the one level. But this does need speed and energy. Energy. So I'm just going to keep these on me here for a minute. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to place this guy right here. Okay. Because I'm actually going to make this a pattern as well. So I'll slap that guy right there. And I will point that to that. And then I believe to make liquid ethylene, it needs to be in this direction. So that's perfect. So is this a 1-to-1? Yes, it is. Okay, perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to the pattern and bookmark this. And instead of 1-to-1, I'm going to do 1 bucket to 1 bucket. So we're not sitting here waiting forever. So I'll go ahead and slap that guy in here. And then I also need an induction card, which is in my backpack. Go ahead and throw that in there. And then we're going to go ahead and cancel that. Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, so let me configure this properly. So the chemical needs to come in and the fluid needs to go back out. There's no item, and then there needs to be energy input. So if I did this right, I should be able to request 10 buckets. And it looks like it is working fabulously. Okay. No, that's perfect. So we got 10 buckets. So we got liquid ethylene on tap whenever we need to. Perfect. So now, off of another branch off, what we are going to do is we need to now make the HDPE pellets and then turn them into sheets. And what that takes is liquid ethylene and oxygen in a pressurized reaction chamber. So the same thing that we put over here. So now let me go ahead and grab another pattern provider. And I think what I'm going to do is, because I think I need to do one more thing after this. Because once that goes into pellets, then we need to enrichment them. Yep. So I'm going to actually bring a cable into the mix. So then I could branch off one more time and not be limited. Or actually, what I can do. Yeah. I'll do that. I'm doing some wild stuff today. Okay, so we need the pressurized reaction chamber, and I am going to get another ultimate, because why not? It's there, so let's use it. And then I need one of these, and then I will need these guys. Oops. So put that in there. let's slap this guy down. Clear all sides. Okay, so item, input, and output. Chemical, not from there. However, from here, fluid, input. Energy, also input. Chemical is going to be from an entangler porter. Port. One of these guys. And I'm going to slap this one right on top. What I'm going to do is chemical input on. Clear all these sides. Chemical output. And then this is going to be, let me just confirm this real quick. Oxygen. Set. So this now has oxygen, which is perfect. Okay, so we're almost there. So now what we need to do is we need to make the craft. So it's 1600 millibuckets of liquid ethylene plus 320 millibuckets of oxygen. However, oxygen is going to be on tap. I don't need to worry about that. The only thing I need to worry about is the liquid ethylene and then 32 substrate. No, I take that back. So it's 50 millibuckets of liquid ethylene to one substrate equals one HDPE pellet. So let me go ahead and come in here, do this, make sure I'm on the right one. We're going to get rid of oxygen and we're going to keep liquid ethylene. And then we're going to save this, put this guy in here, and now that is done. Okay. So our final little cluster here, it's going to be one more pattern provider. Oh, I forgot. I need to make sure I give this that. And then also, I think what I need to do is make a greater energy card, unfortunately, because I don't think we're going to be able to give off enough power to power all these properly. How many can I put? Oh, I could put 4 of these in there. Okay, let me make this an autocraft. I'll just speed this up. Let me make 3 more of these. Perfect. And I'll just throw these in here. Okay. So all these have their upgrades. So they are looking wonderfully good. This is going to take a lot of power, and if the induction card cannot keep up, I will have to put a point. And something is draining our power massively quick. But that's fine. Okay, so one more pattern provider, and we're going to point it that way. And this is going to be the enrichment factory. So let me go ahead and get one of these. I will also need to tier this guy up. So it'll just be easier to do this. Okay, so, ooh, no, not 1,000. So one of those, one of those, one of these, and one of that. Okay, so let's put the enrichment chamber down. And let's tier the guy up real quick. Last one. And then let me go ahead and slap the energy and speed so I can get that out of my way. Induction, I'm going to slap in here. And now I can put this guy back away. Bring this over here. Bring that there. Goes away. And now what I'm going to do is I need to make sure, yep, that's the right pattern. Put that in there. Come in here, clear it all. Items are going to be input, output. Power is going to be input. And auto eject on. Now, if I come back in here and I do HDPE sheet, and let's make 10 of these as for a test. Let's go ahead and see if this works. Okay, so something is getting stuck somewhere. Oh. Oh, that's why. Okay, there we go. So now we have HDPE on tap anytime we need. So let's do 100. Coming in nice and quick. I like that. Could be a little bit faster, but that's perfectly fine. And we are almost there. Couple more. What did we get stuck on? Why are you stuck there? Why are you stuck? That's very interesting. I am going to go ahead and cancel the rest of that. That got stuck for some reason, and I don't know why. Yeah, with the biofuel, this has hydrogen and water. This should be able to just run. Did I break it? Everything is online. Everything has power. Try it again. I hear the crushing factory going. So somewhere it's breaking, and I'm not sure why. And I have a feeling it's this pattern. The ethylene to liquid ethylene. I think that's what's kind of breaking things. So I might have to fix this pattern. Let's see if this fixes it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cancel this craft again. And let's try it one more time. Okay, so now that's coming in good. However, it keeps getting stuck here. What is going on with this? Okay, the crusher. So we need substrate. Oh, it's 2 biofuel to 1 substrate. That's where I was getting stuck. Okay. So if I put these 2 in, yep, sure enough. Okay. Cancel this. One more test. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Got all that ironed out. One more final test. Let's do a big batch. That's looking really nice. Coming in very well. We're almost done with the sheets. There we go, 100 sheets. No issues. Perfect. So now we have officially completed the HDPE sheets on tap, and that is going to allow us to get into creating these SPS casings and getting our SPS up and running. So let me see what I need, which is, it's kind of weird. It's having you make the SPS port first, but that's fine. see if it will let me make it here. Okay, so we got one part. That should open up the rest of the quest. There it goes. Okay, so we need 4 ports. So I need to make 3 more. And then 60 SPS casings. 64 plus 58 structural glass. Let's go ahead and do all that. So 3 more of these. Okay, so there's 4 of. Why are these not stacking? That's weird. Okay, we got 4 of those, and then we need 60 of these. Come on. Not 160, I just want 60. Looks like I already had 38 in the system, that's perfectly fine. And then I need 64 plus 58 of structural glass. Structural glass. So technically I just need 57 because it looks like I already have some in the system. Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get this thing built, and I will bring you guys back. I know the SPS has been built several times. If you guys want me to go over on how to build this, please leave a comment down below and I'll make like a short little how-to guide or tutorial. But it's super simple. You're making like a plus sign, and then filling in the middle of the plus sign with the glass. And you're doing this all the way around. So I mean I could just build the one side for you real quick. Okay. So it should look like, I believe, something like that on all sides. If we look at the picture here, it's 3 high in the middle here, this little block, and then you have 3 right here on the top and 3 right here at the bottom. So you basically just copy that on all sides, including the bottom and top, and then that will basically create your SPS. And then you could put these parts anywhere you want. Like, you know, if I want to put it right here on one of the face, I can. So I'm just going to go ahead and build the rest of this, and I'll bring you guys right back. Okay, and I'm back, and it's up, and boy, is it making antimatter quickly. So as fast as I can get this out, we need the crystal. I'm gonna make it's the chemical crystallizer, and I need to find, there it is, the ultimate, because I want to make the ultimate. So I could slap this down. Go here. And then what I want to do is, I believe this is going to be a chemical, so I think I could just tube this out into here. I will need to give this power real quick. Let me go ahead and do that. Power. I'm having to move quick because I don't want to get this missed out here. So chemical is going to come in from the top and energy from the left side. And then item, nothing yet. Okay. I'm going to leave the sort off so that we could just get this going. How are we doing? Oh, this thing is eating power. Okay, so while that's going, yep, I'm going to go ahead and turn this guy back on. which then I'm going to come over here and make sure this guy is going, which it is. Perfect. And that should counteract what we are using over here. We are going through this polonium extremely fast. Let me make sure we're still looking good over here. So we are. What I'm going to do is leave this on as full. And then just let this do its thing. Let me make sure that I get this chunk loaded real quick. And hopefully this will be able to keep up. Let me make sure that this is still going, which doesn't look like it. I might have turned it off somewhere. Items, input. We'll go ahead and get this going again. Okay, so that is now going, and we're making some more fissile fuel. I just want to make sure we could keep this going. How are we doing over here? We are out of power? Wow, okay. Can I put another point here? I mean, we should have enough power to run this. Let me get some upgrades in this thing. Do I have them in my backpack? No. Speed. Energy. I think it's because this thing is taking up a ton. Yeah, this is eating all of it. Do 8 million. So we're making 0.192 millibuckets a tick. And we can't do anything right now because this is using up all of the power that we are generating, which tells me that it looks like it might be time to get into extreme reactors. Oh boy. Okay. So we have that done. That is on its way to making us antimatter, or the antimatter pellet. Once we get power back into this thing, geez, this thing is taking a lot of power. I may have to. Let me wait until I can get to 2 millibuckets on here. Once I get, or not 2 millibuckets, but 2 buckets. Once I get to 2 buckets, I will turn the SPS off so that this could create, because I believe it's 1 bucket to 1 antimatter, and I just want to get some antimatter going, and then what I'll do is I'll probably make an extreme reactor just so we could have this going. Let me take a peek over here at the. Okay, so we still got enough fuel coming in. We got no damage. We're doing really well. Let me make sure that this is still holding on. This is still looking good as well. Okay. So as soon as I get the 2 millibuckets, I will turn the SPS off so that this could run. And we're almost there. This is actually coming in really quickly. I'm actually kind of surprised. Oh, that's why. I forgot to change this one to 8 million as well. There we go. So now we're only pushing, 16 million, and we're still making the same amount. And look at that. We have power back to this thing. And we have 2 antimatter pellets. Look at that. Look at that. That opens up the doors for some of the parts on the ATM Star and also the Mekasuit. Oh, I'm so excited about this. Okay. This is awesome. So let me go ahead and slam everything back into my system and backpacks. Oh, okay. So with that said, I could take the flex point off. How are we looking? We're still doing good. How are we doing over here? Okay, we're starting to lose fuel. So I'm going to go ahead and scram this. And I'm going to go ahead and turn off the SPS for now until we can get the extreme reactor going. And I'll probably have that up in between episodes so that I could have this running and make sure that I get more antimatter pellets. Because ultimately what we need, if I look here, we just needed the 2 for the improbable probability device. And then we need, let's see, can we make anything else on here? I thought we chest. Yeah, we have the ME chest. Why is that not coming up? Oh, now it does. Okay. So we need 2 of these. Let me mark that real quick. So we need 2 of these. Let me throw this in our matrix real quick. And that is a 256M portable drive. Let's see, can we make this? Ooh, we are short on essence. The Certus Quartz essence by 121,000. But it looks like we have pretty much everything else. Just that is what we are missing. Okay, not too bad, not too bad. So we're getting there on that. This will probably take some time because we still got to go to the other. We got to get our Ender Dragon data model going. I believe we already have the Soul Lava Bee, so we're good there. This, we're pretty much almost done with this one. We just looks like we need to get into Oratech. We need to make the Paradox machine from just dire things, and we got to do a little bit of roots. But I think we can make everything else. We already have the ME quantum ring. We already have the micro missiles. We already have the pocket storage. So I think everything else would be fairly simple. Go ahead and see if we can make some of these things right off the bat. Actually, that was the mycelium generator. That should be a quest. The lightning bomb, which requires a lightning grenade. Let's see, can we make that? We need thunderstruck. So that's just glowstone, and then when the rain begins to fall, which is just like the same craft to get the eternal water block. So that's not bad. We could do that probably right now. The paradox machine requires blocks of time crystals and time fluid bucket, which we could definitely do. Time fluid, grab a bucket of that. And let's go ahead and make one of those. Let's go ahead and make one of these real quick. And roots, we'll have to set this up. It's a multi-block structure, kind of. It's more like a occultism in a way, where you have to have it laid out in a certain way. And then we just burn these 4 items, and we put these on the ritual table in the middle, and then we let it do its thing, and we'll get the crystal staff. So that's kind of easy. Then looks like we got to get into Tech here. We have that. So that should be fairly easy to make. Other stone frame, we could do that. So that's just gold, ender pearl, some nether quartz, and a book. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to get the patrickstar today. So we'll need to make the giant mechanical crafter, and it looks like we need 55 of them. So if we head back home, we actually already have some made over here. How much this is 21. So we have 21 already. So that means we just need 34 to go. And what it takes to make these mechanical crafters. Okay, so that's not bad. We're out of planks. I'll just make 100 of these. Let's see, how much are we on brass? Oop. Brass. So we don't have that much of that. Okay. So there's still some stuff that we have to do. Go ahead and make that a craft. So it looks like just the zinc is the one that we need, which I will do that in the crusher. Let me go ahead and crusher zinc. Save that. We'll come over here. Oh yeah, that's right. I need to make one more. Yeah. Okay, there we go. And then we need the brass dust. Let me go ahead and throw this in here. And then we need the brass ingot, which is just a smelting craft, which we could definitely get done here. Furnace. I'll just throw that guy right there. Okay, so for brass, let's go ahead and see if we can make 1,000 of these. I know that's kind of a little overkill, but I want to make sure that we get enough. And then logs. Go ahead and get 1,000 of these. And then I'm going to go ahead and make the brass casings. One thing that I like that you can do is you could ultimine strip. So that makes this a lot easier. So we could put down a bunch. And then just ultimine strip it. And that strips it all. With that said, let's go ahead and get some of our brass here. It looks like it's done. And we could just make some brass casings. All right. So these mechanical crafters are super easy to make. However, the next part is going to be kind of time consuming. So what I'm going to do, let me just double check real quick. Crafter. Yeah, these electron tubes, it gets a little time consuming, especially since we have to make so many. Because we have to do this all by hand with sandpaper and rose quartz. So that's going to take a little bit of time. Ooh, we could use the enrichment chamber? Hold on. This might have just saved us some time on this. So rose quartz, and then that one. And what I want to do is make this into a craft. Okay, so that's crafting, and then we need enrichment chamber. I will need one more of these real quick. I need to get onto the right one. So this, and this. Okay. And then we need to do iron sheets, which we could do in the osmium compressor. That's kind of interesting. However, we're not going to do that. We're going to do this route, which I think iron. Yeah, we already have that on an autocraft, so I ain't worried about it. So let me go back here, do enrich, and place this guy right here. And mechanical crafter. Now we said we needed 34 of these. Electron tubes. I forgot to set that up as a craft. Electron tube. This guy. Boom. Matrix. Put that guy in there. Okay, now let's try it. Mech craft. And we need 34 of these. Look at that. We didn't even have to try on that. Super easy. Okay. So, since we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and head back over to the mining dimension because I want to have this set up over there. So let me take a look at the patrickstar real quick. So we'll need to get a bunch of these concrete and concrete powder. Oh, why does that look so weird? Oh, I see what they did. Those are concrete, chipped concrete blocks, and they named them the allthemods, vibranium, and unobtainium. That threw me for a loop for a second there. Oh, that was good. Okay. So I need to take a look at this. Actually, matter of fact, visual representation. There we go. Okay. So we need 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2. Nope. 3, 4. Jeez. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. And then straight across. Oh, nope. Okay. There we go. Straight across. Right there. And then straight across again. Then match the bottom one. And then straight across and then one out. Both sides. And then we do a second layer. And then we do 3. And then a 1. All right. So here's the concrete. I'm just going to go ahead and make 64 of each. Just to get it out of the way. Okay, there's a couple of quests. So we need to do the same thing with the regular concrete. What else do we need? We need the lime concrete. I think that's the only thing holding us back. Which doesn't look like I have that set up. So let me make that real quick. Thought I had this already made, but I guess not. That's perfectly fine, because it is made now. So lime concrete, we'll just make a stack of this. Okay, so now that has opened up the patrickstar quest line. So now we need to fill this out. And that is the tricky part. So let me move everything out of my hotbar. So then I can move all this in there. Okay. So let me bookmark this. That is extremely hard to see. So pink and magenta on the bottom. Then 2 stack of green. So like this. Then 2 green this way. And then a lime green surrounded by more green powder. Then green powder. Which then there's a 4 a 3 gap of green. 1, 2, 3, and then 1 down here. And then is that mirrored on the other side? It looks like it. Okay. So we'll do that. Then we'll do that. And then powder. And then pink. And then magenta. And then lime. Okay. We're halfway done with this. Okay, so we got magenta. And then what looks to be magenta powder. And then pink. And then magenta. That's kind of weird. So we have magenta powder, 3, and then a pink and a magenta. Then we have a magenta, pink powder, magenta powder, pink, 3. Okay, so we have magenta, and then pink powder, magenta powder, and then pink, and then 1, 2, 3. And then pink, and then a full magenta. Okay. So we got 3 pink. Magenta and pink powder. And then we have a magenta with 3 pink. I hope I'm seeing this right. Okay, so we have a pink powder, and then magenta, and then pink on top. So pink powder, and then magenta. Okay, that looks right. I guess the only way to really tell is when we when we turn this thing on and see if it actually works. So let me grab my wrench real quick, because we need to have this all going in one fluid motion. Okay, so that's all coming this way. We'll do that. Okay, so that's down, down. And we'll do this. And one more. Oops. That's down. I'm going to move these over like that. Those go down. Which actually I could have these meet up over here. So then it goes down right here. Which then it will travel down. And then it should end up right here. Okay, so now all we need to do is just get some water wheels and turn this bad boy on. Can we do a motor yet? Can we just go straight to the motor? Ooh. That requires a craft. That requires something I don't have. So it looks like water wheel it is. Ooh, why am I lagging? Well, my TPS is fine. Okay, water wheel. We're gonna make a couple of these here. Oh, why am I lagging so bad when I'm looking at the create stuff? Grab some patterns. So we have the small wheel, now we need the big wheel. And I think that's all we need. Oh, nope, I lied. We need cogs. Let me make one of these and make one of these. Okay, now we should be good to slap this into our system. I want to do 5 water wheels. It's quick. Let me go ahead and break this spot right here. In this spot, grab one bucket. Perfect. Okay, looking good. Still looking good. Okay. So now what we need to do is get some of the cogs. I'm gonna do a stack of the small and then a stack of the big. I'm not gonna use them all, but this should be fine. I think we go big and small, big, casings. Use brass for this. And small, and big. Yep. Stepping this up. Nope. That is not what I wanted. Come on. Cooperate with me. Okay. Can we get this? Oh. Oh boy, that is spinning fast. Not where I wanted you. And stressed. Come on. What am I doing wrong here? Okay. It appears that this contraption is overstressed. Add more source or slow down the component with a high stress impact. Okay, I mean, sure. Maybe I'm going too fast. All right, let's try this then. Nope. So I guess maybe I need to make more giant water wheels. Water wheels. Let's see if we could just spam these. And hopefully it works. Oh, there we go. There we go. It's working. Let's go. All right. So once this gets to the very end down here, it will then tell us if we made this correctly. Because it will either scatter all of the blocks out, or it will give us the patrickstar. Let's go. Yes. So we have the patrickstar. So that is 2 down off the list. We have antimatter. It's currently not running because I need more power. And then I also need to work on getting more uranium, because I am not producing enough uranium to keep the fissile fuel going in order to keep this going, which then ultimately keeps that going. So it's kind of like a domino chain effect. I am happy that we got this down. So now what we can do is let's head back home real quick. And let's head all the way to the bottom. And let's put our second item there. And just so you guys know, I have invisible glowing item frames on these 10 spots right here. Reason being is because I'm going to pretty much each one that I complete will go into an item frame until we are able to make the ATM Star. Perfect. All right, so with that said, I know this episode was kind of all over the place, but we were able to get antimatter. That is huge. And then we also got another piece of the star. We got the patrickstar. So I believe that means we only have just 8 more items to go, and we will have our star. So this is going extremely well. I am happy with the progression that we are going at, the pace that we are going at, and it's only going to get better. So in between episodes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the extreme reactor, and then also I am going to make the hydroponic beds so that we could start getting the uranium in faster, because that is currently our bottleneck, is uranium. So once I have that into a hydroponic farm, along with a couple other items, of course, we will start working on more of the star, and I'm super excited. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and end this episode off here. And just a reminder, if you guys liked the episode, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button. Everything you guys do supports me, and I greatly appreciate it. And also, at the time of this recording, we are 5 amazing subscribers away from hitting our first channel goal. We are 95 subscribers out of 100. So let's see if we could try and get those 5 more to go. And then we could start working on our next goal. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.